Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Prolific Mindset Podcast. Happy to have you back again. Hope you're having a great week, a successful week, a blessed week. Again, I said this last week. College students, I hope you're enjoying yourself. College football is this week. As you can see, I got wide receiver U, and that's LSU, baby. LSU got Clemson this week. I think in Jacksonville, if I'm not mistaken. Go Tigers. I'm behind you guys. That's one of the biggest games. If any nice, beautiful woman, your wife, your significant other, leave your husband alone, leave your boyfriend alone, leave any male alone this week because college football is back. As soon as they open their eyes on Saturday morning, college football is where it's at. ESPN, all the TVs, if you got 3, 4, 5 TVs, if you got slings, you got applications, ESPN or anything of that, they're going to be looking at football. Now, don't get me wrong now. Some women do know about football, so, find you a seat, get you some popcorn, get you something, get you your favorite, shirt, your favorite team, the college you went to, and sit down on the couch with your man and, enjoy you some college football all day. It's a lot of big games on, a lot of big games. You got Alabama versus FSU. You got Texas versus Ohio State. I'm going to be looking at that game for sure because that might be a national championship or a national playoff since I think they're at 18 playoffs. So, yeah, that might be a national championship game or a playoff game. So make sure everybody tuned in this week to college football, baby. This is my favorite time of the year. NFL, nothing against it, but ain't nothing like college football. It's so much mayhem in college football. You just love following it. From Michigan getting in trouble with what they have going on, and they didn't get the worst suspension that USC got, even though what USC did is now created the NIL space for college athletes that shouldn't be in a rush to go to the NFL, and high school athletes that are being millionaires before they even step foot on campus or even prove themselves. That's the crazy part, how time changed. When I was in school, you might probably got the handshake that probably had $500 to $1,000, or people looked out, boosters and other people in the school look out after the game and stuff. But now these kids got paychecks. These kids got paychecks that we never seen before. Eventually, at some given point, they need to come up with a cap because I know at some given point it's going to get outrageous. And they need to come up with caps for either all the athletes or, you got your quarterbacks, you got your running backs, you got your wide receivers, you got your 5 stars, your 4 stars, so on and so on. Because if we don't come to a cap, I'm telling you, and I keep telling this to a lot of my friends, that one day a bunch of billionaires, if not now already, a bunch of billionaires are going to get together and start owning college football programs. Because look how much money they make. You think billionaires just going to sit aside and not do that? All the billionaires that couldn't get into the NFL or get in the NBA or get in NHL, they're going to find their lane in college. They're going to find it in college football. They're going to find it in college basketball. They're going to find it on some type of collegiate level before going to the pro. And then now I believe it's going to be a back and forth between should I go to the NBA or better yet, should I go to the pros or shouldn't I? If it was me and it was time, I wouldn't be in a rush to go to the pros. Why? You're getting paid like a pro. A lot of guys then took pay cuts just leaving college, going to the NFL, and that's crazy to hear. You taking a pay cut, like you took a pay cut to leave the college to go to the NFL, and big schools like Texas, LSU, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State got one of the most expensive rosters known to mankind. I think $20 million from last year. I think I heard that in the interview from the Ohio State head coach. But LSU is no different. I think it's like 17 or 18. But one thing I can say to the LSU Tigers, that roster better win a national championship. I feel like this year should be a win for LSU. They got a lot of returners. They had a hell of a transfer portal class come in. So I hope everybody, get ready for a run, even though I think they got the hardest conference schedule or nation schedule because they got to play Alabama, Texas, and UGA, and I think all of them at their home. So fact check me on that, but I know that's got to be a tough schedule to be able to win that because the last time I think LSU even won a schedule like that is when Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, Chase, and all of them was on the same team, and that was a hard schedule also, but they prevailed and showed you that they can pull it off. Look at them now. All the players I just said are either the highest paid player in their position or probably the best player. You had Chase, who was a Triple Crown winner. You had Justin Jefferson. He gritty in everywhere. You got Joe Burrow. flicking the hair back, look nice when it hit in the wind, and he putting the ball out there. So this should be a great college football season. Don't be switching. Don't be bandwagoning. Stay your ass with one team. I'm going to stay with my Tigers, but I'm going to keep my eye on Texas because there's a Manning back in college football. If anybody old school and anybody the real college football fan, think about it. When the last time you saw a Manning inside of a college football jersey from Tennessee to Ole Miss to Texas? And it's crazy. All the Mannings played in the SEC. I don't know about Archie. I don't know where he actually played. I got to look that up where he played it. But I know for that most part, I know Peyton, Eli, now this Manning here, all of them played in the SEC. That's crazy. The dad did a good job of keeping all his kids in the SEC, his family in the SEC, and making sure he's protecting the bloodline. Because I think Archie, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the highest paid NIL kids in college. I think in all sports in general. So, yeah, man, this is going to be a great college football season. So, one thing I wanted to talk about today was Florida high school football. How we got drugged up and down by out-of-town talent. That 7-on-7 stuff, man, is weak, bro. I think kids and I think colleges are getting to the point that they may stop recruiting down in Florida because we're not physical enough. Just by the looks of it, you had teams come from Cali, you had teams come from Virginia, St. Francis. I think modern day, please, I don't know, I don't want to get them mixed up with the ones we have down here, but they came down here and we got beat. We're not built to play out-of-town football. We're not built to play against teams that are top 10 nationally ranked, and they're willing to come out here to play us. We're not built. We're not ready to play yet. Our high school football programs are not funded well. They're not supported well by the district, the county, whomever. We're not funding it. Bro, you go to Texas, these dudes got college stadiums with high school stadiums. You got high school coaches getting paid six figures. We got a lot of great coaches in Florida. We got a lot of legendary coaches in Florida that's underpaid. And fans in the community expect this coach or these coaches to put out D1 product every day, and you're underpaying them. It's like the teachers. Shout out to all my teachers. Keep doing what you're doing. I know it's hard. It ain't easy, but somebody got to do it. And we appreciate you teaching our new future or our new, our district attorney, our new banker, our new doctor, our new Fortune 500 owners, teachers. You never forgot. Believe me, I love you guys to death. When I was in school, I loved you guys because you guys cared. I know this is a different era right here, but please stick in there because you remember, if you give up on that kid now, that's going to be the same kid that might have to do something for you down the line, some type of service. It doesn't matter if they got to take your groceries out. It doesn't matter if they got to put your mail in your mailbox. Keep fighting for that kid. That kid just needs somebody to keep helping him. That kid needs somebody to be an example for him. But back to what I was saying. High school football in the state of Florida is very underfunded and very unappreciative. We have the skill position guys, but we don't have what other teams in other state has. Like, look what St. Francis looked like. Look what Duncanville looked like in Texas. Look at, I think De La Salle supposed to be coming out here against Lakeland, or if they already did. Just when we play out-of-town talent, we don't match up with them, especially in the trenches. We don't have trenches in the state of Florida because we always get like one or two big-time players, but as many skill position guys we don't have interior guys. And if we do, they're not getting the exposure they need to be ranked, number one, number two in the country overall, not just only in a position. University of Miami just signed the number one player in class of 26 to 27, the offensive tackle, and he's not even from the state of Florida. So imagine think about this. When the last time you seen a high school defensive player be ranked number one overall out of the state of Florida? Better yet, not a defensive player, an interior D lineman or O lineman, either one, D lineman, O lineman, pick one. Find me one that's been ranked number one overall. I know once upon a time, if I'm not mistaken, Willie Williams was one. Willie Jones was another one, both Chiefs. There was more of the kids, but of late, the last 5 to 10 years, when the last time we had a number one? I know we had the kid from Central who go to University of Miami now. He was a big-time player. I think he won Defensive Player of the Year in the country, and he was a hell of a player, and he's a hell of a player for the University of Miami also. But how do we develop our programs to keep producing that? Because we're not producing anything. We don't like, I measure Dade County or Florida football against national teams. That's how I measure it. Screw local. Yeah, you can win state championship, but how many programs say they got a national championship to brag about? Chaminade, I think, probably is one. Central, another one, but we don't have many. We don't have many more. And we have the best football in the country, but it's so underdeveloped. From the weight rooms, from the eating process to, even in education, I see a lot of kids not being educated. Like, nothing against those virtual schools, nothing against it, but I just feel like they're taking away from public schools accessibility to a kid to help them get smarter. Because I'm telling you, when you get to college, them 2,000 level courses, those 3,000 level courses, those 4,000 level courses, you're going to have a hell of a time. And that teacher don't care, because the teacher already got it against you, because you're a kid that's walking here making six figures already. And this woman or man is on the clock, been doing this for the last 10 to 15 to 20 years and teaching your ass, and somehow they're not getting paid what you getting paid, and you think they're going to take slack on you? No. I just feel like we're not putting the same energy behind education as we is on the field. A lot of these kids not going to make it to college. So what they going to do afterwards? What trade are they going to pick up? What's the next move? What's the next determination? Like, how many kids right now have already took the SAT that's preparing to go to college this year, or either coming in from 11th grade, 10th grade, whatever? How many kids took the SAT? How many kids took the ACT? How many kids are preparing for life after football if they don't make it? And I know, as a football player, the hardest thing for a lot of us to do is really admit, like, man, I'm going to go to college, or man, I'm going to go to the league. When I played football, I really never paid attention to going to college. I know that's kind of hard to believe. I didn't. I just cared about being the best at what I did, whether it was football, whether it was track and field. And I did shot and discus. Let's make that clear. I didn't run on the track unless it was a big man relay. I got busy on that one. There's some big dudes out there that's 250 and up that can really get on a 4x1 team and give you a run for your money. But yeah, so it's a lot that we have to do with our kids, and it's not even a lot. It's something they need. I understand you want them to go to college. That's great, but don't you want them to be educated? Don't you want them to leave with their diploma? Don't you want them to still have the same aspiration when they get in college to get their college degree? I'm just saying, like, that's something they can't take away, because if you don't play football, say an injury happened, or say you don't get drafted. A lot of guys who I've seen didn't get drafted. Now, my biggest thing is looking at them, okay, what their next move is, what they're going to do to support themselves, just in case they don't have that financial backing from their family. They don't have that type of support. I'm just saying, just hypothetically, just speaking, if they don't have that, what are they supposed to do? Did they learn to trade while they was in college? Did they, maximize their relationship with boosters and seeing what they did, Fortune 500? Did they start getting their resume set up? Did they start building their LinkedIn? Did they start doing some of the things that, most football players, we don't think about that, because all we're thinking about, plan A is going to work. What's plan B? Make plan A work. We don't have no other choice. When you're a football player, you're locked in. Just an athlete in general, we're locked in. And that's an athlete mindset. If you've been an athlete, you know what I'm talking about. You're going to be locked in. Everything else doesn't exist in that space. So coaches, parents, please help this athlete out by helping them in that education spot. Because when they get to college, I'm telling you, that shit do not get easy. Them teachers are not going to be friendly. And please, go get a degree that actually means something. I'm mad because I didn't get one that means general studies. Like, that's a bullshit, degree. And the crazy thing is, now I'm in investing, now I'm in day trading, now I'm in, learning more about the financial space, the stock market, and things of that nature. So it was great to go to LSU and, have a general and be majoring in general studies. But what did it really do? I got more out of it just going to Harvard University Business School and doing case studies on different businesses that taught us how to look at a business different. Before I started investing, I went to that school and started really paying attention to, okay, cool. How do I supposed to look at a business? How do I evaluate? How do I look at the ROI, or how long it takes? How do I look at this company? How is it profitable? How much money was the overcost? Things like that. But I appreciate those times to keep learning. It never should be a day that you stop learning. Don't stop learning, because the day you stop learning, that's the day you start dying. That's when you're going backwards. We need to go forward. They got YouTube, man. YouTube got anything and everything that you want to learn legally. Not nothing that's going to put your ass in jail, legally. So make sure what you're trying to learn is not going to be a job. It's going to be a career. You don't want a job. You want a career. Now, if you get a job, nothing against it. But you want a career. Why? Because you want to do something that you love to do. In this day and age, we got AI. AI is helping us with everything. ChatGPT helping us with everything. Gemini, Claudia. It's so many other different programs that you can use that can really help you and put you in that right direction of, doing what you want to do. But the quality of high school football has went down in the state of Florida, and I feel like we're not the best at it. Skill position wise, we are, but when you go play 11 on 11 and got to put pads on, it ain't about 7 on 7 no more. It's about, can your trenches withstand or withhold, this other line. When I seen Chaminade game, I think the team they were playing against from out of town, they had the number one, if I'm not mistaken, the number one defensive lineman in the country, or excuse me, but had the number one defensive lineman in either the state or the country, one of the two, but he played his ass off. So I'm just saying, we need to get better. We need to come together as coaches and parents and figure out a way to, strengthen our football. We had a guy, I called him the neighborhood hero. I call him the football hero. I call him the modern day hero in football, and that's Teddy Bridgewater. I don't want to, I don't want to be that person to keep harping on it, but I'm a fan of his because I like football in general, especially somebody that's from the crib that did a hell of a job, that went to Louisville, that went in the NFL, and still there now. He was willing to come back and, take time and rebuild his high school, rebuild his football program, and give so many coaches so many opportunities and the opportunity to learn what he knows. And he's on the NFL level. But now, since, things didn't go his way, I wish more of the community could have been behind. And it's not about the actions of talking or, protesting. We got to go do something. We got to make something happen. We got to start owning up the stuff, because it's crazy we don't complain or cry or say anything when you got Chaminade, St. Thomas, American Heritage, those type of schools that I know they might be private schools and all that, but they're properly funded. I think more Broward schools are properly funded better than day schools, and day schools have hell of a great talent. We're not funding it. We're not backing our kids up. All the stuff that Teddy did for Miami Northwestern, like, bro, he should have never got in trouble. I understand the rules and all other nonsense. Yeah, great, cool. We understand that. But look at what he was trying to do. Look at what he was trying to show. You don't understand. Those kids could have been affected by, when they make it to his level, they may come back and try to give their time back or try to help. Coach, what you need? You need some Gatorade. You need, some food. You need whatever. When Carol City won their last 2 state titles, I was a part of them. I helped my school out because I noticed nobody wasn't helping them. Yeah, we could talk a good game with all our classes, reunion, do fundraisers, but open that checkbook, help them kids out. I had Coach Arby Hill was one of my coaches who I was helping, and another coach, I think he was from Booker T, Coach Hepperlight. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but I think he's at FIU now. But those schools, I didn't mind helping out. I didn't care. I didn't want nothing from hell. I didn't even tell people I was helping those programs out until now. But I thought it was nothing did wrong on Teddy Bridgewater. And he's a hero to our neighborhood. He's a hero to me, because he did something that we would want all our guys to come back to Miami, Florida and do for their high school programs. I just wish that we could have embraced him way more than what we did. We allowed somebody else to get involved. I understand there's coaches that got mad and disagree with what he did and what he said. Okay, cool, great. But the man took the money out of his pocket to do it in the first place. And what was the end result? He won a state championship. The year before that, the West was, I don't know how many games they won, but they wasn't in the position that they was then. Hell, I gave Teddy 2 years before he got the program back up. But I seen what he did from the first day he came in, when you locked the kids in the school and you had football training camp. He almost brought the NFL to a high school level. And that was great because that's a different experience. When you come to the NFL level and we at camp, we're away from our families. We're away from any access. I don't know how many NFL teams, but I know some of the teams out of played for, we was never close to home. We was like 2 to 3 hours away. And to be able to do that for kids, that's different. And to get the medical attention, to get them, dry needling, massaging, acupuncture, Normatec boots, game readies. Like, people don't understand, high school kids don't understand how important that is to make sure your body is ready to perform every week. And Teddy made sure he spent his own money, didn't ask nobody, didn't reach out to nobody, didn't ask for donations. He actually took the money out of his pocket and did it himself. So I take my hat off to him because he took the money out of his pockets. And I felt like people didn't want Teddy to be the hero. In this society, they always keep telling us what hero our kids look up to. They don't create heroes or allow heroes to stand too long because they may do something that go against status quo. Teddy Bridgewater went against status quo in the eyes of the higher ups, but not in the eyes of kids, the eyes of the community, eyes of people that was willing to support. When you go to a Northwestern game, and I'm not a Northwestern fan at all, but I'm a fan of football. I'm a Chief by nature. Those games are sold out. You hear that cowbell. You see people dancing. You see people hooping, hollering. You see all of, the boys coming out with the verse, the dunks, the box Chevy coming out every week and coming to support their team. Even during camp, you seen people around the gate looking at that team. But hindsight, I hope that everybody that's still on that Northwestern staff got a lot of, not a lot of knowledge from Teddy Bridgewater. I hope they, took advantage of having access to him because it felt like people didn't appreciate him. And then he went back to where he's appreciated at in the NFL. Come on back, Teddy. Teddy, like he ain't lose a step, putting the ball on the money in the preseason, throwing touchdowns, knowing the plays, knowing the game. It's like you got a coach playing quarterback. And I know his heart is still in Miami Northwestern, as it should. He should never, let that move nowhere. But let him go somewhere that he's appreciated. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is willing to appreciate what Teddy Bridgewater is, what he's about, and what he shows. And that's priceless to get that. On another note, the quarterback situation in Cleveland with Shedeur Sanders. I just believe this is a gimmick because think about this. All our old heads in the NFL are gone. Tom Brady's the owner. Joe Flacco's holding on. Aaron Rodgers shouldn't be playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but hey, who am I to say? I feel like he's tarnishing his greatness of a gunslinger quarterback that had the G on the side of his head, that sat back behind Brett Favre for so many years and waited his turn, and he performed for us. I understand that everybody's saying that they're treating him unfair. You got to understand it's a business. We're allowing our emotions to make money for the NFL because we talk about this all the time. We already know what's going on. They're not going to trade Shedeur. They're not going to release Shedeur. We ain't that foolish. Cleveland need butts and seats. Joe Flacco, he can do what he do. I don't see him as a starter. I see him as a guy that, supposed to come in like them last 7, 8 games and do his thing. And he took the team to the playoffs. So his talent have not dwindled down, but as you see what Cleveland Browns did, man, let's get beyond this. Let's just wait for Shedeur. And it's the best thing for him to sit back and watch Joe Flacco do his thing. And that's what it did. Like, people don't understand. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre. Tom Brady sat behind Drew Brees. We don't have quarterbacks that are sitting there and sitting behind a veteran and seeing like, okay, let me see how he do this, how he carry himself, how he, man the huddle, how he walks in with his chest up when he comes in the facility because he knows he's confident enough to carry this team. Emotional, let's remove the emotions out of the way. We know it's unfair. We don't like it. We feel like they dragging them through the mud and all that. Yeah, granted, we see that. But just remember, on the draft day, and I want to bring the draft back. Think about this. Every year when you look at the NFL draft, unless you know somebody in the NFL draft, you're waiting the first 2 rounds, and after that, you're cutting the TV off. You're not even paying attention. Maybe 3rd round, you're cutting the TV off, unless you're a real diehard fan of whatever team and you want to see the whole draft. But the ratings was crazy when he got drafted in the 5th round. You didn't even know who the first pick was unless you was a fan because everybody was only waiting on one person to be drafted. If the Sanders family know how to use this position, and I know they do because Prime know how to use this. They can make as much money off the field right now as on the field. All Shador need to do is just go back there. All right, watch Joe Flacco, learn the playbook, do his film study. He's a hardworking kid. Hell, he was with Tom Brady training at one point. So I know he has greatness in him. Hell, his dad is great. One of the greatest cornerbacks in NFL history. We all adore when he was a Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco, Baltimore Ravens, Washington Redskins, and now we see him with the Colorado Buffs. And you seen what he's doing with that program as a coach. Hell, everybody go to Colorado to watch. You never stayed up to watch a West Coast game. You never stayed up to watch a Pac-12 game. I don't know if they Pac-12, they Big 10 or Big 12, whatever it is. But you never stayed your ass up to look at a West Coast game. But as soon as Sanders came in, you were trying to see who's going to be the next celebrity. You was trying to see who's going to be the next person there, who he can bring out. Bro, you ain't never seen that many celebrities. You see Lil Wayne bringing them out. You see Terrell Owens on the sideline. You see Warren Sapp. Like, look at the coaching staff. It's crazy. But back to Shador, he knows what he has to do, and he has to stay consistent. He's going to persevere through this because he knows he's going to be tested every day. The NFL has nothing else to talk about. It's just like the NBA. When LeBron retired, what else the NBA is going to talk about? What you going to compare? You won't be able to compare Michael Jordan to him no more because he's not playing anymore. Now he's on the side. Who's going to take the reins of the NBA? The NFL don't want the same thing as the NBA because viewers are leaving the NBA alone. Roger Goodell ain't no fool. He don't want the same thing happening. He don't want the viewership to, calm down because he know what he has to get done. So we have to come up with a story. You know what that story is? Shador Sanders, who you're going to take, who need to take full advantage of what he's doing on the field. So off the field, he can back up as many brink trucks as he chooses to. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. To another one of my favorite topics. Investing. Let's take a deep dive in this. Ask yourself, when was the first time you actually been introduced to investing? Most people, I can just say this because I asked a few people. I asked a lot of people. The first time you understood investing was gambling. Whether it was a dice game, whether it's a casino, whether it was playing spades, tonk. That's what you seen as investing. When somebody always come to people that never invested and you talk about your IRA or traditional, everybody know the 401k, but other ways like how to do leaps, how to do swings, how to trade, how to just invest their money, people will back away because most people will tell you what, man, you may lose your money. You got to understand the United States is built off the stock exchange. The New York Stock Exchange, the United States is built off of. It's built off it so successfully. Hell, even in Texas is about to open one. I think in 27 or 28, they're going to open up their own stock exchange. So let that sink in your head. We have to figure out how to invest our money. We have to figure out those jobs that we're in. We don't work 30 years. We cut that down to 15 or even shorter by investing your money in something, whether it's crypto, whether it's in shares. And you don't even have to jump in like Apple. You can jump in like VOO or QQQ or QQQM. There's other things out there that can help. Like there are other stocks out there that can help you. Just have to learn. Because I know a lot of people get confused when they look at MSNBC and you see all those numbers coming across and names and you see 1 minute is red, 1 minute is green. Learn about it. That's money's moving. Money is moved around. That's why everybody's saying while this administration is in the White House, transfer of wealth has been happening the whole time since he's been in here. Since he's been in office, the wealth has been changing, whether it was going up or whether it was going down. Money is made either way. One of those ways it is. I just try to understand traditional investing because it's crazy that when I go into a gas station, everybody's in that motherfucker looking for a Powerball? I think that's Powerball. What, Mega Million or Powerball is like 800 million right now. And you can just sit in Publix, just sit in the gas station, watch how many of those tickets are going to be purchased. Watch how many scratch-offs are going to get purchased. And you know the crazy thing is, and I noticed the inside thing, I feel this conspiracy. Why every time that Publix may win it, you know damn well you never shopped at a Publix, but now all of a sudden, well, Publix got one of the most highest shopping rate because everybody going to it because everybody's going to win the lottery. Why not put your money in Apple? Why not put your money in things that we touch every day? Whether it's Nike. Nike was just down almost 30-40%. Now Nike's almost back up, not back to its original, but it's back up than it was when it didn't pass earnings. We need to start figuring out how to start getting into investing and start how to cut those years now. A lot of people got jobs, but you want to be with your family. You want to buy your time back. And you just put in that 401k that you can't touch till you're 60 years old makes no sense. And if you can, leverage it. Go buy a rental property. Go learn about another way to make money because AI is stepping in. So there are ways that you can make money, but you have to figure it out. Please download ChatGPT. Please download Gemini. Please download Claudia because those are the keys that are going to help us. They're going to help us in some way, shape, form, or fashion because that's the way the world's moving to now. If you look at the stock market today, all semiconductors are going crazy this morning. Yeah, they made a pullback because NVIDIA had something missed. They didn't miss earnings, but they had something missed, so it pulled back some, and then it went right back up on the bounce. As long as you knew where the support level was on the bounce. But we going to have this conversation more so I can start helping you get into investing because I hate when people work from 30 years old all the way to 60 years old, and then life expectancy ain't no longer than probably 65 to 70. So you didn't did this whole time to work. Why do you work? Besides only to pay bills. Don't you think about your other generation? Don't you think about your son, your daughter, your siblings, their next generation? Do you think about building a trust? Do you think about building not building, but making your last name an asset? Like, and I'm not trying to compare because I know it's two different levels of people, but Donald Trump can walk inside of a bank. When he wanted to get one of those golf ranges in Greenland or New Zealand, one of those places done, he went into the bank. They didn't have to use no finances, anything. All they just said, my name Donald Trump, I need a $300 million loan, and gave it to him with no hesitation. Wouldn't you love that? So you got to start working to build to make sure your last name become an asset so you can be able to do the same things. Start learning about whole life insurance policies. Start learning about how I can move my family to somewhere else comfortable because our environment makes it different. And I know everybody's not capable. Where are we going to start from? Because I'm tired of hearing the same excuse. Rick, we ain't got the money. Rick, we ain't got this. But do you even have the education? Everybody always keeps saying they want the money, but you don't have the education. You can burn $1 million easy. You can burn $2 million easy because you don't know what to do with it. But when you do, are you going to stick to it? Are you going to be so quick to go buy a liability because that's what our environment and our train of thought always taught us? Or are you going to go and buy an asset that can go and buy the liability as many times as you want? And now you can, all right, cool, I went and bought a chain, or I went and bought a Scat Pack, or I went and bought some of those type of dumb objects, or go buy one of those. Hell, go buy a Rolex for all I care. A Rolex holds its value. Go get an AP. Go get watches that holds value. Because it's crazy that we will be so quick to go to the Gucci store and buy something that's on sale, but we don't even have it in our bank account, nor a saving account, nor a 529 account, nor a whole life insurance policy or anything that is set up. Because think about this. You're not doing this for you anymore. You're doing this for your kids. You're doing this for their kids because you never want them in a position that they're having rough times. We don't want to be clones. I used to always try to understand what they mean clones. And what they mean by clones is we're going to keep repeating the same thing over and over and over. So when are we going to change and do something different? The excuses, okay, cool, great. But how long are you going to keep being in this rat race? When are you going to get yourself out of this position so you can have that life that you ain't got to worry about, man, how we going to pay the water bill? How we going to pay the light bill? How we going to pay the rent this week? If you go and invest, that will put a little bit of cushion. So you won't be so quick because I understand I wear Jordans, but people got to understand this. I'm a sneakerhead, but I did that while I was in the NFL. And I haven't bought sneakers since. If you see behind me, I have a boatload of exclusive shoes, if you can see. And the crazy thing is, I sell them all now. Not certain ones, but like these Off-Whites, I ain't selling because they got Virgil. That's one of the shoes he tagged, and he did that for Art Basel with me and my homeboy, Brad Cutler. We took our shoes off just to get that damn shoe tag. So, yeah, so you got to understand there's money to be made in every aspect, but where are you putting that so it can be multiplied? Hell, go to banks for all I care and figure out what's the APY. Learn about their CDs. Hell, they got Robinhood. It's crazy right now, and I don't understand how they keep missing the S&P 500. It's like they don't want to allow them in, but they're about to start allowing people to get mortgages through them. Everybody's becoming banks. Think about it. Apple's a bank now. They got their own card. Who else? Crypto. Coinbase is a bank now. Now you can use your Bitcoin or your Ethereum or your Solar. Learn about crypto because that's the way the world going too. And I know I probably may have some people that feel different about it because if somebody ever hit the switch and it goes off, everybody's going to be out of it. So before they hit that switch, you need to cash in and go, put that in another investment. But we need to learn how to traditionally invest. Like, they got books for it. They got YouTube for it. Go find somebody. There's somebody's on YouTube. YouTube is a school, and we don't even know it. We ain't even got to, well, you do got to sign up to keep up with the notifications. But it's free also. You can learn about anything that you want to learn about on YouTube. That's why I learned how to trade. That's why I learned how to start investing, because I put my trust in someone to teach me how to invest, and they didn't teach me. They just like, okay, I'm going to invest your money. Okay, cool. Teach me how to invest. And when I had the time and opportunity and I said, yo, I'm going to learn how to make my own money. I'm going to learn how not to wait on another human being to help me make money, because they're not going to make it. They're only making it for themselves. And they can be penny pitching off of it, and they can do, because you see that every day that people get took for money because they don't understand finance. And that's another reason why people get scared. You get scared because you don't trust somebody. But why won't you go and take the time out and go learn it your damn self? Go learn about it. What you going to do? You're going to accidentally become rich. You're going to accidentally become wealthy. You're going to accidentally make your family more money than they ever seen before. Think about it. If your eyes closed today, how would your family live? How would your family, manage? How would they pay those bills? How would they pay the mortgage off in the house that you're in? How would they be able to go to college? How would they be able to your kids to get their first car? How would your kids be able to afford that wedding? How would your kids be able to go to college? You're the reason that they're going to do it. With your teaching and learning, you're going to help your loved ones be in a position that probably our parents wasn't in, because my parents wasn't. So I had to be the one person. I had to be the Rockefeller. I had to be the John D. Rockefeller. I had to be the Medicis. I had to be the Rothschild family. I had to be those families, because those families that had to start somewhere. And I understand it's a whole story behind them, but those are families they don't speak of a lot, because real money moves in silence. They don't have to flash. They don't have to show, because everything that you do, they own, from the school system, the health system, to anything that you touch, from technology and all. They have a hand in it, from BlackRock to State Street to Vanguard. And those are all asset management companies. Just in case you don't know what those is, go look them up, please, so you know what assets they carry and hold. But let's break that traditional chain that we go through every year. Your kids should not go through what you went through, because you had the time and the education to figure it out. I'm realizing as I get older, your network is your net worth, because the people around you is going to help you grow some way, somehow. Or either you need to start getting in rooms that make you uncomfortable so you can start opening your mouth and start making those relationships. Because one thing in the NFL I did is made the relationships. Even when I got outside of it, I still made relationships, because I knew I wasn't the smartest man in the room. And anytime I meet somebody that in a position that I want to be in a position that I see myself in the next 5 to 10 years, and I need the blueprint, or I need that route of how to do it, I'm going to sit in front of them. I'm going to ask them so many goddamn questions, they get tired of me. Hell, I start asking ChatGPT, what's some of the questions I need to ask to help my financial situation, or how to build real wealth, like how to make 50,000 into 100,000, 100,000 into 300,000. I know you could do that in the stock market doing trading, because I done seen guys take $10,000 within a month and turn it into 47,000, 47,000 turned into 100,000. And I see dudes who, Discords who I joined, Aristotle with Honey Drip and Chris with the Money Team, and in with Red Panda and EYL also. They give so many free gems, it doesn't make sense. So it's no way in hell you say, man, I have no way to figure this out. You can go look at their podcast. Same way you can come look at my podcast too. If you really want to get into investing, or you really want to get into a topic, hit me on Instagram on Prolific Mindset Podcast, or either email me prolificmindsetpodcast@gmail.com. Comment, let's interact with each other. I'm gonna hit you back. I ain't one of them Hollywood people that just look at you with the fire flames or the heart emojis. Nah, let's have a conversation. We can have a conversation in the comments, because somebody may be feeling like you, or somebody may be in a position like you, and you don't know, just because you communicated underneath my post, they may just link up with you and be like, hey, you know anything about banking? Do you know anything about fitness? Do you know anything about real estate? You don't know who nobody knows. So when you get it around those circles, or get around those environment, take advantage of it, because this is a one in a lifetime opportunity. We always keep asking, yo, man, I wish God blessed me. What is a blessing? What do a blessing look like? A blessing is not given to you. You got to go look for it. One thing I used to always remember when I used to be inside of a church, they used to make me pray is going to happen. Damn, nobody never told me I had to put the first step first. I had to make the first step. He made the second step. I made the third step. He made the fourth step. Now he see me move, and now he said, okay, I'm going to put this in Ricky's life. I'm going to put this in his life. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put that here. And it's still in my court that I have to hold those conversations and build those relationships and do those actions to show that I bring value to the table. And I'm not just coming up praying for something just to miraculously happen, because it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. You got to bust your ass and work hard to make sure things happen that way. So I don't want to talk you guys' ear off. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I hope you got some points out of it. I hope, you had a good time. I fulfilled your ears with something. And like I said, if you have any questions that you want me to answer, or a topic that you want me to go over, Prolific Mindset Podcast @gmail.com. Prolific Mindset Podcast on Instagram, on YouTube, on Apple Music and Spotify, and I'm on TikTok. I'm messing with y'all, but I'm just learning about this TikTok stuff. So please forgive me. I'm working with the social media era. I thought just Instagram was it, but I hear a lot of people get some success off of TikTok. I see people buying clothes and everything off TikTok. Hell, they might think buy food, might buy you a plate, get you some shoes, or I feel like a lot of our new entrepreneurs that are coming out is on TikTok. They're on Instagram, but you know how Instagram mess up your algorithm, and it holds you, and it doesn't allow you to get as many people. So use TikTok. I hear a lot of successful things about it. Want to give a shout out to my guys, Tavares, that was one of my guests. Josephus, Keem, he worked for the Fort Lauderdale Police Department. Lauderhill, let me get that right. Lauderhill Police Department. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep protecting the street. Keep showing kids what a great example you are, and let us keep being beneficial. Like, comment, subscribe. The Prolific Mindset Podcast. Consistent elevation, cost expansion. See you next time. Love you.